Sitting around the ballroom, they're talking about tomorrow when they're taking Johnny away. Said he wasn't no good, never done the things that he should. That's all the judge had to say. He went in the army when he was 18. Crazy young Irish and mean. Took a kid who was half gone all the way to be wrong with bloodlust and them 16s. His father, he thanks us for.
All right, we're back.
What's up? What's up, people?
What's up, America? My name is Brendan Ahern. This is Matthew Fitzmaurice. Calling to you from
we are pulling the cork.
Pulling the Cork podcast. It's a two-man operation today.
Yep.
So, how was the weekend?
It was good.
Yeah?
Yep. Friday night, I just stayed in, had some drinks, switched.
Riley's birthday.
It was it was Riley's birthday.
Yeah.
So we stayed in, but we had a bunch of people over for her birthday party. Family and a couple of her friends. A lot of people are away. The last week of the summer, people are on vacation. So the friends that were around came, and she had a blast. There was a ton of pizza there, which I tried to stay away from.
Yeah.
We're on this kick.
We're on a mission from God.
For those that don't know, me and Brendan
As
are
Jake
on
Blues, Elwood Blues said.
Yeah, we're on a mission, and we're trying to get our steps in and lose some weight. So instead of crushing 15 beers, I switched to vodka sodas.
Smile like a gentleman.
Like a gentleman. And I felt better. Saturday morning, I felt way better.
Yeah.
Not fucking hungover, not bloated like I usually am.
Yeah.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then, so that was good. And then we got up as a family Saturday morning and walked like 3 miles.
Nice.
The kids like kept up too. Usually it's tough bringing the kids because they like lag behind and they slow us down. They kept up the whole time. And then we did it again this morning, and they kept up even better today.
Nice.
So it's like they're getting bigger and
you
can do
mobile.
more shit like that, you know? And then last night I went and saw you at Twisted Fate, which was awesome. Obviously, when I'm there, I had to have a couple finally something cool.
I mean, when in Rome.
I talked to Dave during the last keg.
Yep.
And it's been just about 2 months, and I think he has maybe 5 cases left.
Yeah.
So if you want any more of the cans, get there quick because
They're gonna be gone.
They're gonna be gone shortly. That keg is probably gone after yesterday.
Mike Sullivan was there. Shout out to White Mike. Nickname from high school, I guess.
From the Wire.
From the Wire, yeah, but that was his nickname too. He was like, "Oh, you haven't done a good job of promoting it since it came out," which I probably haven't done as good a job as I could. They have it still in cans. It's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
I had it last night. I had one of that, and I had one of his other ones.
And this is around the time when it like peaks.
Yeah,
a month and a half, 2 months.
It was so good.
It was good. I had it on tap last night. It was really good.
Yeah, but a few people came by to that. Keith Richardson, Mike Sullivan, Dave Farrick popped his head in.
Yep.
Obviously, Dave Panette was there. You were there.
Yeah. Great story from last night.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
I'm sitting there with my family, and everyone's playing. We brought cards. We're playing cards. Shout out to Mo Morrill, right? Little kids at a fucking brewery playing cards. Running around, playing golf,
enjoying themselves.
Digital golf, enjoying themselves. Great time. So there's another guy sitting at the table next to us, and he's got his daughter. She was, like 12, 13 years old?
Something like that.
Right around there. So Brendan finishes his first set, and he takes a break, and the guy goes right up to him, says, "Hey, I'm a big fan. I saw you here a couple weeks ago. This is my daughter. She's really into singing. She wants to learn how to play the guitar, and I wanted to bring her to have her see you to see what, like, how good you could be if you practice. You know what I mean? So it was just cool.
You could be a piece of shit like me.
I was just sitting there with my back turned, eavesdropping, ear hustling the fuck out of your conversation. But for you, that must have been like
it was cool.
Awesome.
I saw the guy last week. So I played 2 weeks in a row. So I saw him the first week, and he was like wicked into it.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, if you're playing at a brewery in general, you're kind of background music, right? It just is what it is, which is fine. That's what you're there for. You're there to put some music out in the air and to get paid at the end of the night. I noticed the guy was really into it, and I saw him come in, so I recognized the guy. And then he brought his daughter over. He sat right front. Was taking a video at one point. And so he came up to me and he was like, yeah, he introduced me to his daughter. She was a really sweet kid. He's been taking vocal lessons for a while. His name's Zach, great guy. And he's like, yeah, he's like, my buddy's plays and he does like a lot of the brewery scene down in Worcester. And he's like, and, you know, so I've seen a lot. He's like, but I've never seen anybody like you. And I'm like, no shit. You know, Zach? yeah. But anyways, I was like, well, I used to be in a band, just write a lot of music. Some of the music's my own. But now I'm just kind of like a, you know, like the washed up guy playing softball. But he's like, yeah, she was looking at guitars. She's thinking about getting guitars. I'm like, learn. I'm like, it's going to be really hard. I'm like, but the thing is, I'm like, once you have it, nobody can fucking take that from you. Yeah. I'm like, they can take everything else from you, right? But they can't take that from you. Like, you'll have that forever. Like, you'll have that ability to do that, to really. So, yeah, it was really cool. I mean, that stuff doesn't happen often, obviously. But it was, shout out Zach, you know, great guy. And, yeah, there was a lot of people that were there that were like, that I noticed that were like, you can always feel the room. I was like, oh, okay, we got like the Tom Petty, Springsteen crew here today.
Yeah.
So gave him what they wanted. But yeah, it was really cool. It was a super nice guy, and obviously, kind of that's why you fucking do that shit. You know, at the end of the day, is you want people to like it. You know what I mean? So
he took off shortly after that, and I don't know if you noticed, but I chased him into the parking lot and gave him pulling the cork stickers.
Did you? Nice.
No.
Well, he
fucking do that.
He was like, dude, he's like, I tried to find you and your music, and all I could find was this. Because I was on Mark Lawhorn's
shitty podcast.
No, I was on Mark Lawhorn's me writing songs about Panuzzo, Musicians and Beyond. He's like, I found that, and you played that Irish Me song, and I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and I told him where you could find the rest of the music. But I'm like, yeah, I'm a little bit of a ghost these days, but got me more motivated to do some stuff. And anyways, what really got me motivated this week. Now, if you follow our Instagram, you may have already seen or heard this. Follow Joey Boats, you may have seen or heard this.
Yep.
But I had a long conversation. We had, I think it was maybe the second last time Joe was on. It wasn't the one we were, it was during the day. You left. You had to go home and get to work, and I think he had the next day off. And so we were just talking about like art and like, you know, creativity and shit. And he was like, lay some fucking, he's sitting right over there. He's like, lay some knowledge on me, dude. He's like the older sage, you know? Like, I'm like the fucking Yoda here, you know? But I was like, dude, you have such an insane talent. Because he was saying to me, he's like, one of the things, he's like, I don't know how this is for you, but he's like, my friends aren't really like into it. They don't really, and I'm like, that's normal though. My friends aren't either. And it's like, I don't think that's like they're not supportive. I think it's more like they kind of don't know what to do with it. It's like, They're not into that. Really. And the other thing is, they know you as like Joe, or they know me as Brendan, and it's like, all right, yeah, this is like my friend and he's funny or whatever. And then like when you show them that serious stuff, it's kind of like it's a weird thing, you know what I mean? Anyways, I was like, you got to do this now. I'm like, you have to start putting stuff out now. I'm like, it's so good what you're doing, like talking about his rap, that I'm like, you know, and he suffers from a little bit of the same thing I think that I do, where he's into a lot of different things. Like, he's into the comedy stuff. He does the Trump shit. Like, so it's like kind of finding focus is sometimes difficult for that type of person. You know what I mean? But I was like, you got to do it now. I'm like, I did it, you know, put out those albums when I was like 30. And anyways, we had that conversation. And he's like, I'm going to get the gear and like I'm going to start recording shit. And sure as shit, like he had sent us a text like with like a MacBook and like the fucking
microphone
and everything, and the
mixer,
the input.
Yep.
And I'm like, he's like, we're getting close. And I'm like, all right, nice. And then he just drops this fucking banger.
Absolute fire.
Just fucking banger. You can hear? Without further ado.
Yo. I just got out another rehab clinic, that's an admission. There's a lot of shit I haven't addressed in active addiction. Come on, sit back and listen, I'm not a mathematician, but it's chalk and adding up all the plastic cups that I'm pissed in. All the staff and clinicians asking about prescriptions, having a chat about my past habits and bad decisions. I'm a fuck up who ended up twisting caps on a mission, blacking out in my bedroom and passing out in the kitchen like a misfit. For instance, I was never convinced this was a problem until I got caught with a random distance. Still, I wasn't impressed. I was awfully invested. Come to think of it, I'm shocked that it never got me arrested. It's controlled demolition, like when they blow up a building from within. Cause it only affects what's below the ceiling. That's a motor concealing. I'm hiding in plain sight. I'd like to remain silent, but lying just ain't right. So sit tight and relax while I speak on relapse prevention. It's easy. You just need to relax on seeking attention. Mitigate your anxiety, integrate to society, and try to be an entirely different fucking person. I apologize for cursing. Sure, it's one of the steps that I haven't regarded yet, cause instead I started a vent about past issues, minor transgressions, malign resentments, and a laundry list of shit that's been stifling my repentance. God, I spent a lot of time out of tight and out of mind. Not being fine is not a crime, yet I signed on the dotted line of a contract. Pact with myself to embrace community, listen more than I speak, and retreat to a state I used to be in. The ice I skate's getting unusually thin. I'm puking in bed just thinking about the abuse that I did. I was convulsing on the floor in a pool of my own sweat, thinking how am I supposed to still use if I'm found dead? That's a fact. That's actually where my mindset was at. So looking back, it's kinda crazy the way I'm able to chat about waking and smell the roses, blatant mental psychosis, and go post it on a social platform as a magnum opus. What?
I mean,
It's fucking ridiculous.
now
That's better than a lot of rappers that you hear
that's better than most rappers.
on
I think
on
that's
radio, like
So
commercial
I
rappers.
showed it to Maggie
Yeah.
because I was like, "You got to see this," and she obviously has seen all the fucking Trump shit, and she thinks he's hilarious.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I didn't know he has like a rap career," and I'm like, "He doesn't."
He doesn't, but he should.
But I'm like, he's that. See, the thing I think somebody asked us. So I think Panuzzo was like, "What's boats like?" Like he's very curious about
Yeah.
boats, and you're like, he's very deeply like he's a deep person. A lot of like. He's very educated. Like he's like reads like a fucking madman. Like
Yep.
he probably reads 4 books a month.
Yeah.
So he's like very well spoken, very like fucking got a lot of ideas. Like, dude, I was like, I don't know even how many times I fucking listened to that rap. Like, I texted him immediately. I'm like, dude, that shit fucking floored me. I'm like, that was because there's a thing about when you find like, I guess that's my type of like content. Anyways, it's like super fucking disgustingly truthful. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, and like it's ugly to look at, but it's like framed in this like, unbelievable like capsule of like, vessel for the art. I was just like blown away. I'm like, dude, I think you fucking put shit like this out. Like, I think it would be no way it wouldn't fucking blow up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, anyways, it got me like fucking pumped up. Like I was actually like, I know when something's so fucking good because like I write music and shit, and then like I'm like playing on my guitar, I'm like, fuck this thing, like this stinks. Like everything I do stinks. You know what I mean? Like that's how I felt after I fucking watched that.
I feel if the right person hears that, then he could just blow up. And the fact that
Yeah.
he does it, because he puts out on Instagram, he puts out at least usually one verse every week, 16 bars every week. So it shows that he can do it consistently. It's not just like a one-trick pony thing.
Yeah.
And that song right there, the one that we just listened to, is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The way he strings the words together and tells that whole story, which is fucking gritty.
Yeah.
And it's like beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful fucking song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the right person hears that and he could be on his way.
Dude, I mean, how cool. So the other thing is now we're going to have to ask Joe for his
Permission. Yeah.
But going forward after this show, I want that to be the intro music to Pull on the Court.
I love it.
I want to replace Drink for the Damned
Yeah.
with that because I think that is fucking like,
Yeah.
it just gets me fucking amped up. Gets
Yeah.
me like, I'm like, it's the fucking best. Panuzzo used it in all his fucking like
stories
his
this week, I
stories
saw it,
this
yeah.
week. So yeah, like, and I think so. Also, we'll get to Panuzzo, but so Joe, we were texting, and he was like, "Have you watched this movie, this documentary, Inside, by Bo Burnham?" Now, I don't really know. I didn't know who Bo Burnham is. I had actually heard. By the way, even though I'm stumbling over my words, this is brought to you by Starbucks Coffee today.
Yeah.
And Polar Seltzer
Yep.
for Fitzy. So I thought Bo Burnham was a rapper. And the only thing I really knew of him was at the beginning of one of the Froggy Fresh videos, he's like, does this fake ad where he's like, tonight get tickets at for the Bo Burnham concert. So I knew he liked him. So anyways, I'm like, I'm going into this no expectation. And I actually didn't want to watch it. Like, if I'm being honest, like, I'm like, kind of want to watch, like, the next episode of The Boys. But, like, I told Joe I'm going to watch this, so I got to watch this fucking thing. Just watch this fucking thing. I'm not going to even tell you what it is. Basically, I'll give you the synopsis is he's a kind of performance artist. He does a lot of music. He's a kind of a comedian, but very deeply, there's, like, a message behind everything, kind of. It was mind-blowing. It's a masterpiece. The guy's a fucking genius. He's from Danvers. He went to St. John's.
Really?
Yeah, and he just started doing YouTube videos of him playing, like, funny songs when he was a kid, and then he grew into stuff else. And then he had anxiety, and he couldn't go on stage anymore.
I got to watch it.
So he did the whole thing in COVID.
You sent it to us.
I think so.
It didn't
come through?
It did, but it didn't interest me, just like you. Like, I looked at it, and I was like, oh, I didn't even know who this guy is.
You got to watch it. Just watch it. You're going to love it.
I'll watch it.
I watched it twice this week. I watched it once with Mag. She loved it. Basically, basically during COVID, he went to his guest house, which is like the size of this garage, and he did a whole fucking special, edited, filmed it, recorded everything himself, and it's fucking an amazing, like, insight into, like, a real creative mind. It's not him talking about it. Like, I was expecting it to be more like, you know, this is like where I'm thinking with this song and going over lyrics and shit. It's nothing like that. It's just him trying to fucking get this thing done and finished. And as he goes, like, he ages. So, like, he starts out, he's pretty clean shaven with, like, a short haircut. And as it goes, he's just, like, fucking, he's kind of, like, disintegrating a little bit as he's trying to get this thing finished. And his fucking hair's getting longer and his beard's getting, and it's absolutely fucking amazing. So that's my recommendation. And you can thank Joe Boats for that. All right, let's get to the Panuzzo shit.
Yep. We're on a text thread.
A death thread.
It's called, what's it called? Pulling the pork.
Pulling the pork.
Fonz called it four fat guys and a jack dude or something like that.
Yeah.
But now it's how many? It's more than that.
No, it's just me, you, Fonz, Mohan, and Bob C.
and Brian.
And Brian. And so he's giving us tips.
Yeah.
He's fucking riding me like a fucking like a lame horse. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's just whipping me through the fucking fields. That said, you know, I'll make a lot of proclamations. I always think of these things like, and I shouldn't. I know this is one of my biggest problems, is that, like, I look at these things like all or nothing type of, like, attitude, right? Where it's like, okay, either I got to be fucking basically not drinking, just working out, eating totally clean, or it just doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
And, like, this week I bucked the trend. I didn't drink all week. I ate great.
Yeah.
I worked out. I was on the bike, which I was not a big fan of, but and then I got my 10,000+ steps in a day. And then this weekend, so Friday night, me and Max went to dinner. Didn't get pizza 621. I got steak tips and vegetables. Came back here. I had 7 Miller Lights. I logged everything. The next day, I saw you. Ate with Tommy. We had like a really pretty healthy lunch, and then went out, had a few beers afterwards, a few Miller Lights, had 2 slices of pizza at Nate's because it was sitting there and I hadn't eaten since lunch.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit over, but like I didn't stay up past midnight one night. I didn't fucking overdo it. I didn't like wake up feeling like shit. I woke up, went walking every day, and like I feel great today. You know what I mean? I feel really good.
Yeah.
So I think it's like for me, it's like I didn't have any less fun. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like at all. Like I had a great weekend.
Yeah.
So it's just about finding some balance. You know what I'm saying, Fitz?
And you didn't overdo it with the beers. You still drank, had a couple beers, but you didn't you didn't have a 12-pack or
Yeah,
an 18-pack.
and I didn't start drinking at fucking 2 in the afternoon.
Yeah, so that's another big thing. We're here right now at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
I could crush a 12-pack right now and then go back to my house and crush another 12-pack.
Don't fucking
But
tell
what?
me.
Yeah, but what? Like so, like I said, like you were saying, I made that progress Friday night. I did eat pizza last night.
Yeah.
Because we had a shit ton of leftover pizza, and I was drunk and hungry, so I ate some pizza. So both nights I went Friday and Saturday. I drank, but I made better choices with my drinking.
Yeah.
But I did go over my calories both days. And then you saw in the chat, Panuzzo says the only thing he doesn't like about yesterday is that I didn't eat the bun with the burger.
Yeah.
And I'm like, did you see everything else? I went over by 2,500 calories.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. He's like, well, sometimes you have a day where it's a 5,000 calorie day. He's like, but go for the bun then.
Yeah, I guess he's
was
right.
like, yeah, I guess so. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, well, I said, just like fucking Father of the Bride, too, I think buns are the biggest ripoff because you use like 3 of them. And then the rest of them sit there and go
No, and they go
moldy,
bad.
You know what I mean?
I know.
So I end up throwing them out.
Yeah, I got. We had Tommy had his first varsity scrimmage. He's gonna dress for varsity, but like they all dress for varsity, but
Yeah.
he probably won't play. But
Yeah, you made burgers for him.
I made
They look great.
bomb burgers,
Yeah.
like grilled the buns, like fucking put butter on them.
That was Latham's rub.
Yeah, shout out by the way, Sean Latham, $20 chef. If you go to the Iowa barbecue store, which I think is like iowabbqstore.com, he has his, and they're like $10 for the rub. It's really good.
It looked good.
It's more like salt and pepper heavy.
Yep.
And I've used it on everything. I've done a pork butt with it before.
Yeah.
But the rub's great. I actually, like, a couple of years ago when he came out with it, I fucking bought like 20 of them.
Yeah.
I bought like a case of it, and I gave it away for Christmas presents.
Yep.
Like, it's great for that. Like, I gave one.
That's
to
what you
every-
want for like beef is like the salt and pepper heavy rubs, you know?
Yeah. So it was good. So, so we have this text thread going. Pretty sure it's closed now to the, I think
the public.
I think we've got as
we
much
got-
as we can. Now, that said, we have the Cork is Not Porkers. By the way, this is going to turn into a health podcast.
I know.
Cork is Not Porkers group on Facebook. I think there's like 15 people in there or something.
Yeah.
Buggy's been super active in it.
Yep.
He's been on a good run. And Panuzzo's not a Facebook guy, but he's like, we'll figure out if it's going to be Patreon or what it's going to be, but he'll do a Zoom with everybody in like a Q&A. So everybody can ask him
Yep.
anything they want, and he'll give you his takes on everything. You know, so, which is all like, he understands, dude. Not everybody is going to be 6'6" and jacked. It's his job is to be 6'6" and jacked.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And he likes to do it. So whatever. But I mean, I think the biggest thing is, you know, you're trying to get some longevity out of this fucking existence, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
And, you know, sometimes.
And you want to feel better. So my big goal is my back hurts all the time.
Yeah.
My lower back.
Yeah.
When I wake up, it hurts. So I want that to go away. And when that was less of an issue for me was when I was 282.
Yep.
And I wouldn't say like I had ab muscles, but I wasn't like loose as I am right
Sure.
now. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
my lower back didn't hurt as much because I was in better shape and I wasn't carrying this pouch in front of me.
Yeah.
You know? So I want, that's my goal is to my back not to hurt
Yeah.
all the time.
Well, it's always good, too, to have like accountability. So, like,
Oh, it helps.
you know, it's like, it's funny because Buggy's like, I'm going to break hard if everyone wants to come. And Matt West was like, I have to do something, but I would have go. Like, they don't even know each other really. I think they've met
Yeah.
once, but like, that's
Yep.
great. You know, it's like, that's like a huge thing. So,
And then Mohan crushed it yesterday.
yeah, Mohan fucking did 3 presidential peaks.
25,000 steps.
Yeah.
211 flights of stairs.
I know.
Because he's climbing up and down mountains.
Yeah.
And then same thing. Buggy asked him a question or said something. He's like, "Oh, where was that?" Because Buggy hikes too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not like
like
Mohan.
Mohan,
But,
but, yeah.
well, and like me and I was with my 2 best hiking buddies, Nate and Scotty, last night for a little bit. Idiots. And Scotty was like, I re-listened to the hiking episode to show it to somebody the other day.
Hilarious.
He's like, it's fucking unbelievable. I am gonna cut together. There's an episode of kind of similar to what we're gonna do today, where talked about like things we want to do, and I'm like, I want to hike the whole Appalachian Trail,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I think it would be awesome. And then fast forward to that episode where I'm like, fuck hiking, get the fuck out of my face. But anyways, Scotty was saying he's like, oh, so he has a place up there. He's like, that's ideal because then you can day hike and then you have to like
Yeah.
hump all your shit in there and like fucking set up a camp. And that was part of why we hiked that death trail, I guess, is because you can fucking you can fucking stay in the woods in that area, you know? Yeah, so we're getting back in shape. We're getting a fucking, step of 1,000 miles starts with just a couple steps. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Just a couple steps.
Yep.
I was out on the trail today. Got my fucking 3.5 miles in first thing. It's great. Felt fucking good.
That's
you
what
know?
I did that this morning too.
Yeah. So we're so don't talk to us about. We don't hear about you drinking, you're
Yeah.
partying. This used to be about like, you
We're
know,
beyond that.
yeah, this used to be about going down the IA and like just getting fucking shit faced, but now it's like all about fucking health. You know, we're all about fucking health.
What did he try to say to me today? This is what people say. You didn't get here in 3 months. You ain't getting out in 3. I was like, dude, that was my opening line to you with fucking when I first texted you. I'll read it to you. I go, this is when Panuzzo gave his number out on Patreon.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
texted him like the next Tuesday.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, it's Fitzy. We're friends now. Here's a quote that I heard years ago that you can use on your clients that are complaining about not seeing results. If you walk straight into a dark forest for 10 years and decided to leave, you can't turn around and expect to see open fields and sunshine.
It's true.
You got to walk out of that dark forest.
That's
it
right.
took you that long to walk into it.
The quickest road through hell is to keep marching through it. So, yeah. So, anyways, I feel good. I lost a few pounds this week, and made good choices. And most of all, I feel 1,000 times better than I usually feel on Sunday.
Yeah,
You
not
know what I mean?
bloated.
Don't
I
feel bloated at
usually
all.
feel fucking like run down.
Yeah,
on a
exactly.
Sunday.
I feel like, and I'm like, feel like I need a few drinks here tonight
Like
to
I
get
need
this fucking
I
thing
need a
going.
weekend from my weekend.
Yeah, and I've talked about it before. I mean, the show's better when I'm drinking coffee than it is when I'm not.
Shop.
You know, yeah, shop is a fucking tack right now. You know, we used to have this joke at with O'Malley and I when in our younger days we'd be hungover at work, and he'd be like, I'd be like, I'm fucking hungover, and he'd be like, no. He's like, you shop. You're gonna feel guilty, and you're gonna work real hard today.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, yeah, you're right. So, anyways, that was that. Yeah. So Tommy got the game, got himself a tackle in the game.
Nice.
He was amped up. It was great. Good
What's
to see.
he, D-line?
Yeah, and you know what's awesome is Buggy's kid's the kicker. It looks like.
Oh, really?
So Tommy told me earlier in the week, he's like, Pat Buggy, who's Jason. Now people who met Buggy know he's 6'2" and he's a big boy. It's like similar to your build.
Yep.
So he was an O-line. He was a lineman. And he was a fucking beast. Pat's like built like, you know, he's just a small. He's a
Skinny.
slight kid. You know, I don't know if he's 5'9" or whatever. So they started doing like, and Tommy's like, dude, Pat Buggy can fucking boot the ball. He's
Yeah.
like, he's fucking smoking it. And so he got all the kicks yesterday, and he fucking did great. So, and Buggy didn't really know about it until it happened.
Oh, really?
Well, Pat had been like, I can hit one from 42, and I hit from 43, and Buggy's like, yeah, whatever, okay. Yeah, and then we get out there, and like, he's fucking doing it. So
So he does field goals and punting?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. They had, it was kind of, we played Bill Ricca. Now, listen. Great city, Bill Ricca. Everybody knows how I feel about Bill Ricca. I mean, these kids are raised on fucking secondhand smoke, domestic abuse, and fucking cheeseburgers. I mean, dude, there was a couple kids for this team. This kid's 70. Gotta be your size.
Those kids look big. The
And
picture
this
you
kid,
sent.
like, got to be getting D1 looks. He was a fucking beast. They have a huge team. And, yeah, just the Bill Ricca people, it's like, you know, now listen, Melrose is soft. Right? It used to be blue collar, second generation town. Now it's just soft. And it's like high vis everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, this guy walked by me with the most Bill Ricca outfit. It was like jean shorts, a clip for his iPhone, a Pats shirt from 1996 that looked game jersey. It looked way too tight, and like just some Monarchs that
Hell
have seen the
yeah.
day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And I'm like, Bill Ricca.
Stained green from
Let's
fucking
just
cutting lawns.
Fucking trash people. Good trash people, though.
Yeah.
My type of people. Our type of people. Shout out Bill Ricca. I think Doobie's a Bill Ricca guy, right? Yeah, he is.
Now he is.
Yeah.
He's originally from Somerville.
He's a wing guy, but he's a Bill Ricca guy. Originally, he's a Somerville guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do a couple quick ads here as we get into it.
Roger.
American Benchcraft. All right, now listen. If you're watching YouTube, which you should be, check out our YouTube channel. This is the fucking ledger right here.
Yeah.
And you get the belt. I mean, you get the belt.
Belt and wallet.
We got belts, wallets, ledges, right? I said it wrong the other day because I think I had their Instagram handle. It's AmericanBenchcraft.com. Code Corker, all caps, will get you 20% off. Now listen, we're going to be getting into the holidays soon. You're going to want to get on that and get people belts. It's like $95. Things fucking guaranteed for life. And you know what, Fitzy? Me and you probably going to need replacement belts soon.
You think
in
so?
the next couple of months.
Oh, what? More holes?
Because we're going to need fucking, we're going to need them to cut it down or something. So, they have the best shit. I actually have field notes in here. I have notes for my show, and then I have two other things, and one's for work. So I slip it out, put it in there, and then I write in there for work. Things like, fucking hate this guy, he stinks. Shit like that. My job sucks, like, which will lead us into the subject of the show. But AmericanBenchcraft.com, veteran-owned, union, American company, Wilmington, Mass. Great folks. You want to do Bella's?
Yeah. Bella's Roast Beef, bellasna.com, North Andover. Best roast beef in the game. Our guy Harry, Sandra, his wife, there. When it's open, they're there.
Yep.
You're not getting lower quality because the B staff is there. Harry's there when they're open. If the door's open, Harry's in there.
Yeah.
Their beef is unbelievable. Steak tips are great. Pizza's great. Chicken fingers. Anything you get there is top of the line because Harry doesn't fucking skimp.
Yep.
bellasna.com, North Andover, 1211 Osgood Street in North Andover. Check them out.
Yep. Awesome. All right. So what we're doing today is we're going to talk about kind of like if we were living a different life, what that life would be.
Yeah.
Right? Like kind of dream scenarios or like things we think we'd like to do.
Yeah.
What that life looks like. Before we get into that, so Tess is down at University of South Carolina.
How's she doing?
She's doing good. It was a little bit of a rocky start.
Yeah, it's got to be tough.
I got a good story for the Patreon about it. But, you know, she doesn't know anybody. You're fucking 1,000 miles from home. So she was feeling a little, like, down in the dumps early on. She's like, I don't know if I'm going to fucking meet any friends. And she's gotten settled in. They went to a soccer game the other night. She's like, it was unbelievable. Classes started last week. She's like, the soccer game was like, because you build credit, social credit, by going to other sports games so you can get tickets to the football games, basically.
Oh, nice.
So, but she's like, they had a hype video, like fucking D1, you know, SEC, you know, it's a fucking real deal.
Yeah.
But she's like, she's telling me, she's like, I used to rush in the fraternities too, and she's like, whatever, Thursday night was like a big night for it, and she's like, just 18-year-old boys just bobbleheading all over campus, just fucking wrecked out of their fucking minds, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's college right there. That's college. So she's doing good, but I was telling her, I'm like, look, you meet people in weird ways, you know what I mean? You don't just fucking bump into people and they're like your best friends, you know?
Yeah.
Like your first fucking week of college, you're not hanging out with, I wasn't hanging out with Panuzzo, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hanging out with some fucking Zero, showing me like his fucking, you know, Pokemon collection, you know? I'm like, this kid sucks, you know? Fuck this kid.
But he has a car.
But he's got a car.
So you
and
gotta stay hang
this
out
kid
with
gets
him.
good weed, you know? But back to that with the girl actually that wanted to learn guitar. That was actually a cool thing about in college was like, you get there and you know how to play an instrument. You're like, all right, who am I start a band with? It's like an instant thing that like you can like meet people through. You know what I mean? My band was called Exit 15, by the way. We did a lot of, I sang, played a fucking Black Les Paul. We played a lot of hits of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Be like Silverchair.
Hell yeah.
Like fucking, we had one gig down the bottom of like a fucking house party. It was great. So, anyways, we're getting to that life we would, you know, kind of like envisioning what that would be like. We've done one of those like bucket lists, but this is different
Yeah.
because this isn't going to happen. Probably.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You want to start?
Yeah. You want me to start with Fitzy's Corner?
Yeah, start with 50 Corner.
I got a quick, very brief Fitzy's Corner for today, and it ties everything in that what we've been talking about, and it starts this topic that we're gonna do. So
As of next week, we'll have official sound to intro
Fitzy's Corner? Nice.
Yeah,
I can't
we'll
wait.
do a little jingle.
If I have a Fitzy's Corner next week.
Well, I mean, for whenever we do, we'll have it on hand.
Yeah. All right. So obviously, everyone already knows that if I could have my dream job, it would be being a writer.
Yes.
I have been very good at English my whole entire life. Maybe
One of the
not the
best.
first couple years, but once I figured it out, I was good at it.
One of the best.
But if I was a famous author, I'd have a lake house. We've talked about that before.
Yep.
I love fishing.
What kind of books would you write?
Probably biblical muscle builders, like weightlifters that just follow the Bible hardcore.
Muscle Christianity?
Yeah, muscle Christianity.
Shout out inside joke to Joey Boats.
So I'd have a lake house with a nice study up on the top floor overlooking the lake. I'd be sitting there with my computer or my typewriter, like a more handsome Chevy Chase in Funny Farm.
Love it.
Yeah. But honestly, I'd be the same as him. I'd go up into my study and I'd fucking have writer's block. So I'd end up in the kayak fishing and fucking drinking beers, you know? Because if I was rich and a famous author already, I'm already fucking
Fitzy, you got an advance with this book. Where is it?
Yeah. Speaking of that, I went and bought a kayak yesterday.
Nice.
I can't wait
Well,
to
you're
get
one
out
step
there.
closer to being Fitzy the
an
writer.
author. The kayak's the first step
Yeah.
in being an author.
You should write a short story.
Yeah. Every single time I would sit down to write something,
Yeah.
I hit writer's block. It's
Really?
fucking wild to me. Yeah.
I think though, if you start with like, so you know, I was going to talk about this in the creativity section, but like when I was in college, I wrote like 3 movie scripts.
Yeah.
They were like comedy type movie scripts.
So I did that too.
Yeah.
When I was at St. A's.
Yeah.
And I would sit down and be like the same as like a Jay and like a Silent Bob
Yeah.
movie, something
Yeah.
similar to that. All right, let me get through this. If I could fish through the summers and hunker down for the winter, Fitzy would be a happy boy. But back to writing, right? You know who stinks? Fucking Stephen King. He takes a good story that could be written in 300 pages and fucking stretches it out to this 1,000-page catastrophe.
Tome.
Yeah, it's awful. And then on his off time, he sits at the fucking Red Sox game with his thick glasses like a
Complaining
fucking,
about Republicans.
like a fucking nerd. One of my favorite movies of all time is A River Runs Through It.
Yes.
You love it?
Great movie.
Craig Schaefer, Brad Pitt, they play the young boys who coming of age movie. Tom Skerritt is their dad.
Great actor.
He's awesome, and he plays the preacher, right? And he homeschools them, and he had a great philosophy on writing. It was one of my favorite quotes from that movie was, he taught nothing but reading and writing, and being a Scot, believed the art of writing lay in thrift. Know what that means? It means no wasted movements. Efficiency is key. I took that to heart. It was beautiful, and I wanted to apply it to my entire life. I took that philosophy and tried to make it a credo. I would take one trip for the groceries, try to never double back, right? But as I'm learning, what works for writing does not always work for getting your steps in your fucking diet, right? So when it comes to writing, I'm going to be a stealthy ambush predator. And when it comes to getting my steps in, I'm going to be a redundant plains grazer who makes multiple trips back and forth to the watering hole.
I mean, I'm already fucking
What do you
tearing
think?
up reading the book.
What do you think about that?
I think it's fucking awesome. I think it's awesome.
That's a quick Fitzy's Corner for this week.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. So what kind of books are you writing?
Honestly, I don't know. But it would be something similar to that, like comedy, but also like a sappy
Yeah.
story and something with a point.
Yep.
Just like Clerks 3.
Yeah.
Clerks 3 is fucking awesome to me.
Yeah.
Because it's got dick jokes and it's hilarious. But then it's also this great story of how fucking this guy's life is tough and he has a heart attack because he eats too much fast food.
You will really like Inside if you like that type of thing.
What's it called?
The Bo Burnham thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's got similar vibes. What would you like? What top part of the country do you think you live in?
Maine.
Live in Maine.
Northeast, yeah.
Okay, on a lake.
On a lake.
Yep. And you would have like a pretty remote area.
Yeah. Once the kids are older and doing their own thing, probably pretty far up.
Yeah. Somewhere
On the-
where you like go down to the
I want to be on the grid though. I want like
Yeah, you want power.
electricity and fucking
Yeah.
plumbing and shit like that.
somewhere where you go up and you like, you know the
not a lot of
guy who's
people.
working at the fucking store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's like, Fitzy, your pens came in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Come pick them up.
your
Your fountain ink.
your
fountain ink
and
is
your
here.
candles came in.
And I'm like, good. I need to write this book.
He's like, are you still working on that book? It's one of those things.
Yeah.
How's the book coming?
It's been 5 years, Fitzy.
Can I get an Italian sub? All right. I'll go. So, when I was younger, I think I wanted to be, I was like, I really want to be, now I'm glad I didn't do this, but, well, my timing was never great in life, right? Let's say that. I didn't write a good song until I was like 30 and already a kid. So it's like by the time we started getting some steam with that band and the music I was writing, like I couldn't go do any of this stuff because it
Yeah.
was like I was in the weeds with
Yep.
these kids, you know what I mean? They were fucking, albatross around my neck. They ruined my whole life. No, but like you make a choice, right? I think I told that story. It was like I was invited to play this kind of big thing with like John Morland and stuff, and it was down in Arkansas, and I was like all excited, and I'm like, I'm fucking gonna get the recognition. And then like Maggie's like, we have the girls' dance recital that weekend, and I'm like, okay, that
Yeah.
pretty much
Oh.
sums up that career, you know?
Yeah, that goes.
Yeah. So, but I don't think I would want to be a like a touring like a guy like that. Like I don't think I'd want to be because, like, in a weird way, like I think what happens is, except for very few artists, what happens is, in my opinion, they always call it like the sophomore album situation, right? Where it's like you bang out a great album that took you fucking 8 years to write, and then they're like, give me 10 more songs in fucking 6 months, right?
You can't do it.
You can't do it. Or those people can't do it. There are people who can do it. Obviously, like Springsteen did it. And there's people out there, outliers. But I think what I'd want to be is like, my favorite person to watch on the internet, besides like Ava Adams, if you know who that is. I'm kidding around. Kind of. My favorite person to watch on the internet is this guy, Tom Bukovac, who does these. So he's like been a session guitar player in Nashville forever. And he does, during COVID, he started doing these videos. And it's called homeschooling, right? So initially it was supposed to be him kind of telling you how to play stuff. But he's like, what he is, he's a session guitar player for like Morgan Wallen and everybody else. He's played with everybody. And he's just kind of like a curmudgeon from Cleveland. And he's like a real regular dude. You'd hang out with him and be like, this guy's a real smart guy. He's kind of like a fucking Joey Boats was like or one of us was like a session guitar player. And so like his job is to like go in and like come up with parts for these songs. Now I'm saying I don't know how to do that, but I'm saying like this is what I would like to do. You know, his life is surrounded by fucking guitars, and his videos of him drinking like a Yingling, and then being like, he has this great line that I love too. He's like, you know, people always say like, you know, it's like if I get this guitar, he's like that I've been looking at, it's like then I'll be happy. You know, I'll be happy then. You know,
Till the next
truth
one.
is that you're not. You know, nothing fills you up. But like he'd go in with like Vince Gill, and like he's like Vince Gill's guy. He's like everybody, you know. And he's like I look at myself like I'm like a plumber. I'm not like really an artist. He's like, you know, I go in, I get my tools out of the truck, and the band will be like, oh, we're having a problem with this bridge, and I'm like, okay, well, like what's the problem, you know?
Yeah.
And I diagnose the problem, and then I like fix the bridge.
But that's like ideal because you're in that life that you love.
But you don't travel.
And you don't have those fans like knocking down your door. Like you can walk out of your house and no one knows who you are.
Dude, the best.
All the famous people know who you are because you help them with shit that they need to get done.
Yeah.
But they're the guy who has the fans running down the street after them and they got to duck into a car with tinted windows.
That seems like a horrible life.
I don't want that either. But it's coming with this
Well,
podcast.
obviously, I mean that's the problem is it's happening to me all the time now. But no, I agree with you. I don't want that life. But like once Jason Isbell said it best, he's like a pretty well-known singer-songwriter. He's just famous enough. Like he said, he's like the best level of fame is that you can get a seat at any restaurant you want to eat at, but nobody bothers you when you get there.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? Like there's gonna be people who know who the fuck you are, right? Who may approach you, but like he could walk down fucking the street in Melrose and probably not get noticed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what that's one of the things I like to live in Nashville, right? Right outside Nashville. Play some bluegrass on the weekends with the boys, you know what I mean? Just to fucking keep my chops good. I'd be playing a 58 Burst, 59 maybe, Les Paul. That's what I'd be playing. And yeah, I'd be like, you know, and that would be great. It was a great line too. With Vince Gill has like, the country guy has. He has like kind of like if I was gonna be like a famous musician, he has the kind of life I'd want. Like, he's a pretty tall guy and he's like pretty heavy now. Not like a fat dump, but he's a little out of shape, you know. And he was like, he's got one of the best guitar collections. They do a lot of videos on him on YouTube and they talk to him about like his career. He's like, you know, I tell all the younger guys that I see that come up that I meet. He's like, I ask him, I go, you having fun? And he's like, and they'll be like, you know, most of the time they say like, yeah. He's like, and I say to him, I go, good. I go, because people stop listening to Elvis and they're gonna fucking stop listening to you. He's like, so enjoy it while you got it. And he's like, and that's the way it should be. He's like, time comes for all things, you know. I was talking about this to Buggy and Maria, his girlfriend, last night. You know, it's like, and you look at a guy like Tom Cruise, it's like sad to watch him try to cling on to his fame. You know what I mean? And be like, I gotta still look like I'm 45, even though I'm fucking 60.
Yeah.
Like, and go into the Olympics, and it's be relevant. You know what I mean? He's done a good job of it. I'm not trying to fucking smirch him, but like I'm saying, like,
Can't be fun.
it's gonna be a terrifying life.
Yeah.
At all times, you're like, this could all be taken from me tomorrow, and now I'm irrelevant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, his whole life is just about being relevant and being one of the biggest actors in the world. And if that's not working for him, like everything else doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That sucks.
It does suck.
Think he gets the steps in?
Probably.
Yeah, he definitely gets the
He
steps
has
in.
to.
100%.
But he's got like a plastic head,
yeah.
you know, with all the surgeries he's had on his face.
Yeah, he's a loser. So that would be my first one.
Yeah.
Did you bring additional ones?
Yeah, I mean,
Ideas.
obviously, sports would have been ideal.
Yeah.
But you see how these guys, like, I just finished that show, Receiver,
Yeah.
and like Debo, absolute beast,
Yeah.
runs fast as fuck, but strong too. Like he's an unit, and he gets hurt almost every game. So it's like you have to just train and train and train, and it's like Panuzzo, that's his life, is just fucking doing that and being well oiled for every Sunday, and it's a ton of physical damage and stress on your body.
Well, not for him probably because he's not doing like
Not Panuzzo.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
about Debo
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and football players and hockey players, right? So what would the ideal sport be? Maybe baseball, right? To be like a rich, and I mean everything boils down to being able to provide the life that you want for
Sure.
you and your family. So obviously any of these things that you're picking out of this wish I could be, or what could have been, boils down to like providing and having money to do what you want to do. Baseball would be sick. Golf is probably the best one
definitely.
because those guys, a lot of those guys are jacked and in great shape. Like you look at Bryson,
Yeah.
but there's guys that are like skinny. There's fucking guys like Daly
Yep.
who are just big
Yeah,
alcoholic
Shane.
loads. You know what I mean?
Shane, what's his name?
Lowry.
Lowry.
So obviously for sports, that would probably be the best one. The Olympics got to be the worst.
Stinks.
You
know-
train 4 years, hard
Yeah.
as fuck, to try to be the best in the world, and you win a gold medal, and they give you like $46,000.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, all right,
Yeah, then you're being like a track coach. At
I did
Oregon.
that for you, America.
Yeah.
And they're like, here's your 40,000 for your gold medal.
Yeah.
Like, what? That's a fucking waste of time in my fucking eyes. I
Well,
still love it. Let's go, Dan Jansen.
Hey, doesn't talk about a guy who just flipped on the Olympics.
No, I think I still love watching it. I love the
Shitting down the Olympics
backstories.
throat.
But it's like, honestly, it's what's it worth?
Kelly Strug's like, what the fuck? This kid was all in my ass last week.
Carrie Strug.
Harry Strug. Yeah, no, I mean, being a professional golfer is great. I think we're also envisioning that you accomplish in this scenario. You're not like taking into account the fact that you could just struggle for years and not really make it.
Yeah.
You're saying I'm a contender.
Pro.
Yeah, like I win a major.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're fucking.
Yeah.
You're in the top fucking 10 a lot. You know what I mean? Your cash is a big check.
Getting paid.
Yeah, you're getting Titleist all over you. You know what I mean? Draped
Yeah.
in Titleist gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would be a great one. I just had mine on the tip of my tongue and then I lost it. Now, another one I would like to be, although I would hate it in execution, but the idea of it is very like, I always was very interested in it. Is I would like there's these guitar builders that are like custom guitar builders, right?
Yeah.
And they build like fucking $40,000 guitars, and their fucking wait list is like 6 years long, right? And like I do like acts of like, you know, like carving, like when it's like when you're like just, it's good for like I think like going back to the creative thing, like I think a lot of people who are creative have like some mental issues. You know what I mean? Like they have anxiety, they have all these other things. Like I heard Luke Combs talk about it. I think I've talked about it here, but like he was like, you know, just as my ability is to make up a hit song, like my ability to construct a horrible future in my head is fucking just the same.
Yeah.
Like I suffer from that like horribly.
Yeah.
And I have that. So when I'm like doing carving or something like that, or doing something that really like is great for me. Like it's like focuses me. It gets me like, it's like meditative in a way. So like I would love to be like a guitar builder that builds like sick guitars, and then like, you know, Vince Gill wants one of your guitars, or fucking, you know, have a little shop up in fucking Vermont. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like go down to the store, get my coffee in the morning, you know, say hi to Jim who runs it,
Yeah.
you know, Jim's a good guy. He's divorced, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He left New York a while back. His wife was a piece of shit. She committed suicide, actually. A lot of people don't know that about Jim. He told me, though, one night when we were drinking.
How's the kids doing?
The kids are doing
Jim's
great.
kids.
Jim's kids are okay. One of his kids runs the local golf course.
Yep.
And which is a good thing because he's been clean for 8 years now. He had a couple issues with the opioid epidemic, but he's gotten over it.
It'll get you.
He goes to church every Sunday. Rumor is that sometimes the till's a little light, but we're not
jeez.
pointing fingers yet.
Yeah,
We're hoping for the best for Jim. You
Gotta
know what
keep
I mean?
an eye on it.
Course looks great though. I'll tell you, he's doing a great job with the course. I can tell you that much. So I would do something like that. That would be like I would like I think I would enjoy that because the interesting thing about guitars, like especially acoustic guitars, is that like my old guitar that I have, like Gibson made 698 of those that year. Now they make like 10,000 of them.
Yeah.
That's why the quality suffered. You know what I mean? It's like all things, you know? But the independent builders, like, you're getting something that, like, nobody else, it's made specifically for you. You know what I mean? I think that would be cool. It's very hard to do. I actually know a guy who used to work on my guitars who builds guitars. He's like, building an acoustic guitar is fucking really hard. And I'm like, all right, yeah, fuck that. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. I thought about trying to build one at one point, and I was like, I don't know, maybe I'll do it eventually. But yeah, I think I'd like to do that. I think that would be a good life with me and hang out with Jim.
I think even being Jim would be sick.
Running the general store.
You're running the general store in a town of like 250.
Yeah.
Right? And that would give me time to write. I could write while I'm at the store in non-busy hours. And then when we're busy, I'm shooting the shit with the locals, finding where the fish are biting, what they're biting
Love
on.
it.
It's a fucking great life.
Love it.
You know? And you don't have to be loaded to do that.
Yeah.
It's just it's a peaceful, honest fucking living.
I agree.
And I would do that 100%. And honestly, writing books is like probably the one that I would want to do. But writing movies, like I said, I started writing scripts and they never really went anywhere. But it was like, because I would sit down and get writer's block a lot. I think it's anytime I'm like pressure on me by myself or from someone else, it's like, all right, fuck this. It's too much. I can't do it. You know?
Yeah.
Just fold.
Yeah. Well, I mean, dude, honestly, I don't. I was thinking about this the other day because I went through a period of like a few years there where I was writing music all the time and did 2 albums. And now like I just kind of really pick and choose. If I think something's really good, I keep it, which is not often. But like it's because I'm not concentrating on it. So like it's rare for me to sit down now and like really write something. I do it once in a while, but like you kind of have to. It's like Panuzza says about anything. It's like if you really want to do it, you got to focus on and do it. And you're gonna have a lot of shit that you come up with, and you just throw it out. You know what I mean? Like when I wrote those albums, like there was a lot of really bad shit I wrote, and I'm like, this is. But the funny thing is that like what I found is that the line between something that is fucking awesome and the line between something that's fucking corny is razor thin sometimes.
Yeah.
Like there's a song that I wrote for the second album, which is "Songs in the War," which I think is probably the best song I wrote. And like when I was writing it, I'm like, this is a little fucking on the nose, a little overt. And then when it was done, I was like, oh, this is fucking probably the best thing I've done. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to keep pushing it and rewriting it and doing all this stuff. And you know what I mean? Like,
did you ever get feedback from anyone else? Like, did you run it by Maggie ever?
Maggie's a 10-cent head. An idiot. No, I'm just kidding. Maggie, I do run stuff by her.
Yeah.
Like I ran a song by her recently because I was like, there's something missing here. She's like, I think it needs a bridge. And Maggie actually contributed. I have a song that hasn't been released, like a line. Like she was like, this line would be good in that chorus.
Yeah.
Like, she's a good barometer of like what's good and what's not. You know what I mean? Like she'll tell me. Like I don't show her anything that I think stinks.
Yeah.
Like I'll show her something and she'll be like, that's great. Or she'll be like, that's okay.
So it's the opposite with me. I show Melissa anything that I write.
Yeah.
And sometimes she'll just shit all over it and be like,
That's good though. You don't
have
want
to-
a yes person.
100%. And so I wrote Mark's best man speech.
Yep.
Like 5 different speeches.
Yeah.
Until I found the one that worked.
Yeah.
And she was the one who was like, you're going to be in a room full of your family, Southie people, Somerville people, Cambridge people, and you're doing this like fucking intellectual thing that's such a vague joke that nobody's gonna get.
Sure.
And you think it's gonna fucking you love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one in that room is gonna love
Sure.
it. And I was like pissed.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so good though. And she's like, yeah, but it's the wrong audience.
Yeah.
It's not the right audience. So
Yeah.
she's like, you have to do something. You can't do that.
Yeah. Well, I think it's
You'll
like,
be up there with crickets.
Yeah, and I think that like you can. That's why I like going back to the Boats rap there that we played. Like when I heard that, there was so much truth inside of that, and you could just feel it. And
Yeah.
like when you can very easily, I think I can very easily tell when I'm like, oh, this person's writing this song because they think it's catchy and they think it's like whatever, like, but there's not really a lot of fucking substance there. You know what I mean? So like when you do see it, you're like, oh, like I always think about when I replay a song, something I've just written. If I'm like can't wait to play it, or I don't get sick of playing it, like I'm like, oh, that means it's good. I think. You know what I mean? But dude, it takes so long to get there. Like I think I've said it before, but like I didn't write a song I kept until I was 30. I wrote it next to Tessa's fucking Crip.
Yeah.
Like I wrote that Fisherman's Lullaby song that I have. Like, and I'm like, that's a fucking good song. I was just doing like vague ripoffs on like Dave and like everything else and trying to do something that like wasn't really truly my thing. I think I heard Drive By Truckers and they're very gritty, like content wise. And I was like, oh, okay, these don't have to always be like fucking sappy ass fun.
Yeah, pop. Yep.
Shit, Did I just go?
No, I just went.
Oh, okay, I got some.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. As with this visor that I have on,
Yeah.
I'd love to be like an assistant college coach for a team.
Oh yeah.
Like I'd love to be like an assistant, like an O-line coach on like an SEC football team.
Yeah.
Like, I know that's a hard life. Let me just say that right now. So probably in execution, I might not enjoy it as much as I'd say I would, and it probably sucks when you're like, yeah, I'm fucking the O-line coach for like whatever Florida, and they're like, oh, your next opportunity is with fucking the Akron Zips, you're gonna move your whole family to Akron.
Yeah.
And like fucking, there's no Joe at the store to fucking, to have good conversations with.
Fucking Ohio.
Fucking Ohio. But I think I'd like that. I think that would be like a fucking sweet fucking existence. It's like very concentrated. It's very like, hey, this is the one thing I do. You know what I mean? It's very intense, obviously. Some things are out of your control as a coach. So it's like, that is the one problem with being a coach is that like, you see it all the time. It's like, things go right for you. Like you get Tom Brady and like you become heralded as like, now Bill Belichick's obviously a great coach too, but like kind of need things to work your way a little bit.
But also, if you're O-line coach or offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, whatever, you're not the head guy that's getting his head shot off immediately. You know what I mean? Obviously, if your O-line stinks and your quarterback's getting crushed every play, then you're going to get in trouble. But for the most part, the head coach is first.
Yep.
And you might be able to slide under the radar.
Yeah, and all you wear is either golf shirts, hoodies, and fucking visors.
Yeah.
Like with a headset.
Yeah.
It would be fucking unbelievable.
Spot belts.
Yeah, just like fucking
favorite sneaker.
And everybody respects a coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like coach is a good thing to be.
Yeah.
Like I forget who was saying it, but it is a weird thing to be too. Like people who coach, like it's a weird life to choose because it's like you're in like a weird position as a coach. You know what I mean? Like you're in a position of authority that's really not important in a way. You know what I mean? It's like you're a police officer.
And the only reason you're doing it is because you can't play anymore.
It's 100%.
You know?
Yeah. I wouldn't want to be, I don't think I'd want to be a hoops coach. I think I'd want to be, because I like being outside a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like golf coaches, like, I know they exist, but it's like, who gives a fuck about a golf coach?
I was at the driving range.
What are you doing?
A couple
hit
weeks
it as
ago.
good as you can today.
Yeah. I was at the driving range a couple weeks ago, and there was a kid there, like a 19-year-old kid, and his golf coach was there just sitting in a chair critiquing every swing.
Yeah.
He's like, how you hitting them today when he first walked up? And the kid's like, oh, 6 iron, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, it's fucking useless fuck.
Well, that's like a swing coach. Like, I think I haven't got to play with much golf. I actually was telling somebody the story yesterday. So I had the gig at Twisted Fate on Saturday. So Friday afternoon, I called Mags. Kevin Ma texted me. He's like, hey, you want to play 18 tonight at like 5:15? I'm like, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Call Mags. I'm like, hey, Kevin invited me up to, this is a classic husband-wife interaction. Bellevue play 18 tonight. And she's like, oh, all right. Silence. And I'm like,
Yeah, I don't have to go.
oh, did you want to go out to dinner? Like, you can play. I'm like, no, I want to go to
fuck that.
621.
Yeah, let's go eat.
Let's go eat, you know? I didn't want to play golf anyways. Now, I will say this. Probably saved myself about 4,000 calories from going up to Bellevue because he likes to get double main lunches while we're up there. So, but yeah, I think being an SEC O-line coach or something would be sick. ACC, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that'd be a great gig. You know, like me and my dad played golf with this guy who was one day up in Maine, who was the head girls coach for like not UMaine, but like University of Southern Maine girls basketball for like 30 years. And he's like, you're still playing golf? And I'm like, you know, the one thing that sucks about like what I do for work is that like I don't know what I'm gonna make every year.
Yeah.
Some years I crush, some years I do okay. So it's like knowing what you're gonna make every year is underrated because it's like you could absolutely budget yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where it's like I've had years where like I'm like, oh, I'm killing it, and then you're like, it's like blackjack. You're like, I guess I'm gonna keep killing it, and then next year you're like, didn't kill it, so
Yeah.
I fucking overdid it. But like I think like that guy was like, I'm like, this guy coached girls hoops, and he was talking about like his old players, and now his old players the coach, and he goes out and helps out a little bit, and I'm like, play some golf, and I'm like, fucking nice little life. You know what I mean?
That made me think of a great one.
What's that?
Caddy for a pro. Imagine
Yeah.
being like Bubba Watson's caddy.
Yeah.
In every shot, you're just like, yeah, it's playing about 168. Probably bring out the 7 fucking little bit of dew on the grass.
Yeah.
So you're just telling him like what's there.
Yeah.
And like letting him golf computer figure it out
Yeah.
and hit his shot. But you're just outside all the time. Beautiful weather.
Yep.
Walking around, getting your fucking steps in,
Oh, you're getting your steps in.
carrying the bag. You don't see a fat caddy.
No, Fluff was a little bit overweight, but that was the only one. And I don't even know if he
who's
was really
he?
overweight. He was Tiger Woods caddy originally.
Oh, really?
He had like the big mustache.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he wasn't a big
No,
fat
but
guy.
like he looked like Wilford Brimley a little bit.
Yeah.
That would be
Dude, that would be
it's not
sick.
a bad gig.
And then I bet you get free rounds basically wherever.
Yeah. The problem for me is that I don't like to travel.
Yeah.
I've talked about this.
No,
Like,
yeah,
I'm
I mean,
a homebody.
Yeah.
So like I don't think I would
When it's tour season, you're all over the place.
Yeah, like I don't think I would like. This is never going to happen, but I'm just saying like, if somebody today was like, "Oh, we want you on the fucking whatever to open up for fucking Rail and Maintain," or whoever the fucking person was, to fucking 4-week tour. I mean, I would do it. Let's just say that. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say it right now. But
Especially that your kids are bigger now.
my kids are bigger. But like, I don't like being away from my family.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Like I don't enjoy. Like I enjoy the first day or two, but I'm like, I like being home. I like being with my family.
4 weeks was a long time if you were going to like tour for 4 weeks.
Dude, like, I'm already, like, I miss my oldest daughter so much.
Yeah.
I call her every day. I'm
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
She's sick of it.
A little bit, but, like, I don't know. She seems to be okay with it. She doesn't have a choice. I'm paying, so you're going to talk to me. But, like, it's funny. I was saying that I was talking to my neighbor the other day. Saw him at 621. Thus continuing my run of, like, 100 visits to 621 with seeing somebody I know. And both his daughters are gone. And he's like, I looked at my wife, I'm like, we better like each other because fucking, And it's weird because even just having one of them out of the house is weird. You know what I mean? It's quieter. It's, in some ways, it's cool because it's like, it's a little more laid back. You know what I mean? You don't fighting over the TV as much and all that
Yeah.
shit. But, yeah, like, I don't know if I'd want, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think I'd want that, like, life of, like, you know what I mean? Like, that would be awful. I feel like being just gone all the time. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yep.
And being like, oh, yeah, I see my kids, like, I'll see them next month.
Yeah. It's not. It's obviously not easy to not see a family. But if you're going to pick between being like paying the bills, being a truck driver, or being a caddy for a pro,
Or a musician, yeah. I know what you're saying.
You
Yeah.
know what I
Or,
mean?
like, doing a tour in Iraq, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I'll take picking a
touring.
guitar over
Yeah,
that
yeah.
every day. You know what I mean?
carrying someone's clubs
Yeah,
down in
exactly.
fucking Georgia.
But dude, you know what has kind of turned me off to it too is when I was kind of in that scene a little bit, and whatever, knew a bunch of these guys that are in these bands. Like, there's a razor thin line between like these bands that like do all right and like make some money, and the ones that just fucking don't. And it's like they're just touring all the time. They're barely fucking living, and it's like you're opening for these pretty big bands. You're not really making any money, and it's like it's a tough life. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, you grind
especially if
it.
you start doing it when you're like 20, and by the time you're 29, that's all you've done. You know what I mean? You're like, all right, I guess I'll go be a fucking window salesman now. You know what I mean? Like, because I think those people do get addicted to the road too a little bit.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
it's like you like moving. But yeah, so I think I do that. All right, let's do a couple more ads. Ben Franklin Print Company. All right, way more than print. My guy Joe. My guy Joe is my guy. All right, let me just tell you that right now. He is one of the fucking best in the business. All right, so listen, Ben Franklin Print Company, everybody knows they do all our stuff. They do all our sweet-ass fucking shirts, all our hoodies, koozies, everything. 978-624-7341. That's how you're going to get a hold of them. 978-624-7341. Tell them you're a Corker, you get 10% off, all right? They're not the cheapest, but they're the best, all right? They're going to give you the best stuff. Tedco. My guy Ted, get in bed with Ted, all right? Teddy and I just had a meeting the other day, just talking about business. We send each other motivational quotes in the morning, all right? That's what we do, me and Ted, all right? We're trying to fucking, let's push this fucking thing, all right? 617-996-6827. Your basement, your attic, your addition. That's what they do, all right? Teddy will come over, give you a free estimate. He's the man. You're definitely going to want to talk to him. Get going with Tedco, all right? Get on it. Got any other ones?
No, I got nothing.
Dick all?
Yep.
All right, we got some voicemails.
Oh,
We got
yeah.
a couple voicemails. We actually have a third, so I'm going to try to play that one through the computer.
Okay.
I hadn't downloaded before, but we'll play the first two off of here. One is, I believe, coming from my neck.
Really?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
I mean,
it's
we
Joey
could
Bones.
listen to Joey Bones again, but
Boys, what's up? Life Coach Panuzzo here. Just checking in. Wanted to give another big shout out to the entire PTC fam, especially the ones putting the work in on a daily basis. You guys mentioned our main man, Fonz. He's down close to 70-ish pounds. We got Mohan down almost 20 or so, even 50. He's getting in the game a little bit, down a few pounds since he joined the Fats and the Fit text thread. Even Chef Doobie is about to come off the bench and get after it. I think based on my math, the community is down almost about 100 pounds. Brendan, you'll be happy to know that you
Here
are
we go.
responsible for approximately, or really precisely zero of those pounds. So great work there, buddy. Keep it up. Love the episode with Bob C. Love that dude. Bob C. is the man. Although I don't like the fact that he doesn't have enough time to get ripped. We're going to be doing a full-time audit on Bob C. in the near future. Get ready for that, Bob C. You guys are great, man. You know, it really was a very touching tribute, a beautiful song to me, Brendan, about me, inspired by me. You know what I wish you got a little inspired by is actually doing what you said you're going to do and tracking all of your data for the entire summer. You've been about that 42% compliance since you said you were all in, you fucking fraud. Love you guys. Talk to you all soon.
well, the good news is I'm 100% this week.
Yeah.
I haven't eaten yet today, actually. Not by, like, not trying to fast. I just had to do some errands, so I'm going to get some food in me. I'm going to Woodman's today, so I'm thinking about going.
That's going to be great.
Well, it's fried food.
Who cares?
I'm thinking about going with lobster.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's protein.
I thought he was going to be worse. That was fine.
Well, listen. Well, the only thing we can do is improve,
Yeah.
right? That's all we can do. Go back to the lab.
Yeah, so I was just galloping along and I saw Brendan's video on the good old social media platform, Facebook, and he's taking a walk and asking folks to chime in what they would be, what they could be one thing, what would they be. Awesome visor, by the way. Looks like you're coaching a softball team, a women's softball team, maybe minor league, maybe Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm not sure. If I could be anything, I'd be the owner of Arsenal Football Club in London, England. And, yeah, I know, soccer, stupid. It's stupid. It's gay, whatever you guys want to say. Ryan Reynolds bought a club. Wrexham, ever heard of it? Tom Brady bought a club. Ed Sheeran, should I keep going? It's the future. Global sport. Get on board. Anyway, yeah, and I would be the head of the scouting department also, so I could go to Brazil, scout 16-year-old phenoms, and bring them up through the academy. And while I'm doing so, I'd be on the beach, and I'd be divorced. I wouldn't be with my wife, 100%. And I'll also be scouting huge Brazilian asses covered in baby oil. Just fucking slip and slide all over those things. All right, love you guys. Fuck you, Doctor Strange, okay? Who the fuck did you give yourself that nickname? I'm going to pick a Marvel character, and I'm going to pick Doctor Strange. Good pick. Of all the choices, that's who you pick for your self-titled nickname? Get a life, bro. Fucking Doctor Strange up in the mountains of Nepal, fondling young Asian men. Monks. Disgusting. All right, love you guys. Fuck you, Jumptown.
Finally, the return.
Finally, Billy the Unicorn.
By the way, this is brought to you by, this is the Jumptown Jump Line.
Oh, yeah, Jumptown.
Brought to you by Adam Jumptown. Adam Jumptown. He told me he's in the works with a catering gig through us.
Really?
Yep. So it works. You know what I mean? The power of the Corkers works. What's his number?
978-878-1907.
He said he can get me and you and him out on Nabnasset on a Wednesday.
Hell yeah.
So we got to figure out a day in the fall we can take off.
Sounds good.
Go do that. We got one more. I'm going to play this through the computer. I think it'll work.
Fellas, what's happening? I love an open gym. Fresh off a fucking boys trip to see Skin at ZZ Top. Top 5 fucking concerts of my lifetime. Fucking cried like a baby when they did Freebird. Unbelievable. But listen, forget all that. It's not why I called. I got fucking breaking news. Fucking breaking news, son. The fucking Mystery Halloween 3 t-shirt sender has fucking unveiled themselves in a drunken fucking mistake on the beaches in New Hampshire. Michael Marino came clean on fucking phantomly sending a Halloween 3 t-shirt to my house 3 or 4 years ago. It's been the base of controversy in my life for a long time. So there you go. Mystery solved. Fucking great guys trip. Fucking to fucking New Hampshire. Live free or die. Loved it. Good to talk to you guys. The Bruins are going to be awesome this year. I'm not even going to mention that other shitbag. You know who. He sucks. All right, fellas. Goodbye.
First of all, let me just say this. Clocky's unbelievable.
Mystery solved.
Mystery solved. That was a mystery that's been going on for years.
Yeah.
He thought it was Levy.
Yep.
Not Levy. My good friend. Also, by the way, I'm sporting a unbelievable bracelet made for me by one Riley Fitzmaurice.
Yep.
Pulling the cork. Maggie loves it.
Green.
Yeah.
Kerry Emerald Green.
Yeah.
She made this too.
Nice.
I don't know if you noticed this the last couple
Yeah,
weeks.
it's great.
It's on its last legs
Yeah.
because the little rubber bands wear out
Yep.
and then they snap. But she made me a backup already.
All right. Awesome. Good to hear. These pulling the cork bracelets go for $8.99 on the street. $899.
Yes.
Billy back in the house. I love it.
Yeah,
It's been a while
crazy.
since we had a little back and forth.
Yeah, so I don't know if I know he had shit going on, so he probably wasn't listening.
Yeah.
But obviously he did go back and listen because he knew that
Doctor
Dr.
Strange
Strange
came for his
fucking,
neck.
yeah, it went off on him.
I like it. Is that like a little good battle?
Yeah,
A
that
little
was
good
great.
back and forth.
Notable absenteeism, Orlando.
No Orlando this week.
Sad every time that happens.
Well, listen, he's a busy guy. He's got a lot
He
going
is.
on.
He
You know
does.
what I mean? From what I hear on the streets.
yeah. Roller skating around
All right, so
in
we're gonna
short
do.
shorts.
We'll do Patreon next.
Yep.
By the way, the Patreon, it's like $5. I think you can get into it. We release every show immediately, so this will go up tonight.
Yep.
And the regular show comes out Tuesday. You get an extra show with the bonus, and
Sometimes you get unedited versions.
yeah, last week there was
So I had a bunch of texts. Hey, what was up with that? You were talking about this, and then all of a sudden you were talking about your stock picks, your stock options, and I was like, yeah, listen, join Patreon. You can hear the full Monty right
I
there.
had what I think was an unbelievable joke, but might have been a little racy for the public.
I thought it was funny, but I mean, you know,
The world's a tough place. The internet's undefeated,
is.
as Paul Gentile says.
yeah.
But if you want to hear the unedited version with my vaguely racist joke, you can join the Patreon. Listen to that. Bob C's Patreon episode was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was
his
real good.
Patreons are always the best.
Yep.
Bob C's lived 2 very distinct lives.
Yeah.
And the stories from his past life are fucking priceless.
Yeah.
If you told, I'd say if you told Bob C at one point in his life that he was going to be in a chat about doing the tonal and like how many steps he's getting in, he'd be like, "There's not a fucking chance in hell.
Yeah.
Not a chance in hell." So that was great. I think so. We're gonna do an episode. We're gonna squeeze an episode in this week so we can release it on Tuesday after the
Labor Day.
It could be a Zoom, special kind of Zoom with Panuzzo, maybe, where we just chat it up about like different stuff.
Could be a different guest. Could be
a
just
different
us
guest.
two.
Could be just us two. We don't know. It could be Josh. We're gonna see what his availability is. I got a good little Josh story for the Patreon, which is I thought it was pretty funny. Me and his interaction. And yeah, we love you. We hope you keep listening. By the way, as always, if you can help spread the word about the show, that's great. We are planning something. No, we're not doing the Halloween party. I want to make sure that's what's that?
Misguided.
Oh, Misguided Spirits. How can I fucking forget? By the way, James told us that neon that was supposed to come.
Yep.
Misguided Spirits, the only spirits we drink here.
Yes.
I'm going to be doing a Misguided Spirits video this week that I'm going to release before Labor Day. A little commercial. And, it's going to break my no drinking during the week a little bit, but one's not going to kill you. They are the best of the business. Their Crooked Vodka is amazing. Their Hinky Dink whiskey's great. Smooth. They got tequila. They got triple sec. They got a rum. Everything's great. I think you can get it at Ball Square Fine Wines and Malden Fine Wines. And you can definitely get it online, misguidedspirits.com. You can buy it there. So we're not doing the Halloween party.
Nope.
It's kind of like a Danny thing. Danny's got a lot of shit going on right now. His daughter, I hope everything's going well. His daughter had some tests going on this week. It's on Facebook, so I feel like it's public knowledge. She's doing okay, but like there's just dealing with some shit. So the Halloween party is not going to happen, but we're going to do something for probably around Christmas. Maybe like an ugly sweater party or something like that.
Yep.
So you can come to that. And we got to figure out something for Patreon party. We did something last year. We're not doing it here. It's not happening here. Hopefully we'll do something with that in October, November. And yeah, so that's that. So shorter show today, but a good show, I think.
Yep. Football season right around the corner. Draft order is set. I don't know if you saw the video.
Didn't see it. What do I have?
I sent a video. You're way down, 10th or 12th or something like that. I'm 4th.
Yeah.
Dave, original Ginger Sweeney, first overall pick.
Woo!
Yep.
It pays to be a long-time corker.
It's a video, random generator. It's in your emails. If you're a member of the league, it's already in your emails. And I posted a league manager's note that says that. Stop paying attention.
Yep. Okay. So you remind me of the Patreon haircut story and Josh story.
Okay.
All right. Listen, we love you. Have a great week. And by the way, we're not going to talk to you till after Labor Day weekend. Be safe. Take Ubers.
Yep.
Right? Don't do anything we wouldn't do, which is pretty much limited to nothing. But enjoy yourself, track your steps, and, be accountable.